Good morning, and welcome. And if you're new here, a huge welcome. Today is the start of our self-care summit, and we're going to be looking at various different ways of looking after ourselves, ways that we might not have thought about before, and getting some inspiration from 12 incredible speakers. So I'm really looking forward to this. If you're new here and we haven't met before, my name's Tina Wright. I'm a psychological therapist, specialising in cognitive behavioural psychotherapy, but have trained in a number of different modalities. I'm a mindfulness teacher and chronic pain and anxiety expert. Having recovered from my own chronic pain condition, fibromyalgia, and the various stress illnesses that went alongside it, such as IBS, tinnitus, migraines, TMJD, and also having experienced depression and generalized anxiety, and also had a diagnosis of PTSD in my lifetime as well. So I've covered quite a few of those boxes that we look at here in the group, but things that actually mean that we need to look after ourselves more. And it's so difficult in the world today when we're trying to run a business, or we're trying to get up that career ladder, or trying to even just continue to stay where we are. There's just so many pulls on our attention and our time and our energy that it's just so difficult. So looking after ourselves the best we can is so much more important. If we're juggling all those different things, it's going to take a toll emotionally, it's going to take a toll physically, and that means our well-being is going to be less than what it could be. So I hope that this week gives you some inspiration, some ideas, and gives you some practical knowledge of how to go about looking after yourself a little bit differently, maybe, to what you're doing at the moment. Something that maybe just helps a bit. But it would be incredible if you were able to move on to feel so much better. I know from personal experience and the hundreds of clients I've worked with over the years that self-care is the foundation of our recovery journey, and actually radical sustainable self-care can be the cure that we're looking for. It can lead to recovery from many of those disorders that we're talking about. Chronic pain disorders, chronic fatigue, all those other ones that I've just spoke about, the stress illnesses like IBS and tinnitus and migraine. I've seen it happen time and time again, and know that we can get there, but we need to start somewhere. So let's look at our self-care this week. Look at what we can do. Just, even if we implement just one small idea from this week, it's going to make a difference. It might not be the full cure, but you never know. It's the first step. We can't climb a mountain unless we take a step forward. So I just want to go through and just tell you a little bit about the different speakers we have this week, and when they're coming up, so you can sort of perhaps mark it in your diary if there's someone that you really want to listen to or see. There's a combination of interviews, demonstrations, and talks with interaction in some, and some maybe not quite so interactive, but we're trying to give a little bit of all different types of ideas and ways of interacting with us and getting that knowledge, because I know from personal experience again, and from my professional experience, that we don't all learn in the same way. So maybe you want to watch the videos, maybe you want to turn the video off and just listen. That's fine. If you want to take notes, take notes. I would recommend having a pen and paper available, at least, or your phone with your notes screen open whilst watching, because we don't take it all in the first time we hear something. We often need to hear the same message a number of times, which is the other reason I've asked so many other inspiring guests this week to give you their perspective, because sometimes hearing it in a different way lands, and those same messages that haven't landed before, or we've heard it but it's not really resonated. So Today's speakers, we're starting off in just under an hour's time at 11 a.m. with Samantha Jane. And I was in a mastermind with Samantha, was it over a year ago now, maybe? We first met, and she's the author of a book. She's set up the Habits of Happiness. Sorry, my screen has just gone blank to the side of me. I'm just going to get all her credentials. And she's a happiness queen, coach, clinical hypnotherapist, author, and creator of the Habits of Happiness. Sorry, Samantha, I needed to read it. So we're meeting her in, as I say, at 11 o'clock, and she'll be talking to us about how to create some of those habits, and we'll be sort of seeing how, her perspective on self-care. Then we are meeting Yvonne at 2 o'clock, and I'll be interviewing Yvonne about her experience of self-care in her personal life, but also in her professional life. Yvonne is known as the Holistic Success and Visibility Consultant and the Success Stylist. She's I was recently in one of her challenges, and she inspires so much confidence for people. And self-care, again, is at the base of what she talks about. Uses self-care strategy and style in such an enmeshed way that you hardly notice that it's helping your self-care. So that's at 2 o'clock, and she'll be offering a freebie that she has, which is 10 steps to health, wealth, and happiness, and talking about how she uses the self-care for success foundations. Then at 4 o'clock today, we are meeting Shona Short, and Shona is a lovely, very talented artist, author, and researcher. She's also an accredited NLP and therapeutic arts coach. She's just got such a gentle and compassionate way about her. I'm looking forward to actually meeting her, because we've only conversed online so far. So meeting her virtually on screen will be wonderful, and I invite you along to come and join us at 4 o'clock, where she'll be presenting a talk which is very interactive and allows you to just get a sense of those different ways of those creative ways to look after your self-care. So that's the agenda for today. Then tomorrow, let me just get my notes, because I've got so many people and I've been talking so much about this over the last few weeks that I'm getting confused myself. So tomorrow, we've got nothing on in the morning. I've actually got some clinical work I'm doing in the morning. So we start at 2:30 tomorrow. And we kick off with Shaheen Jaffe. And Shaheen is a mind body coach and clinical reflexologist. Again, I've known Shaheen for a few years now online. We're both SERPA practitioners, and that's how we met. SERPA is the Stress Illness Recovery Practitioner Association, and teaches how to overcome chronic pain. We've both done the training with those. I was actually at the chronic pain conference over the weekend in London at the British Medical Society. Brilliant conference. You'll hear me talk about more about that over the next weeks or so. I'll be drip feeding some of the stuff that I learned, and telling you, well, I think I've just been inspired to do more for everybody in this community. So Shaheen is a holistic health coach, really, and she uses reflexology. She's a mind body coach and clinical reflexology, and her practice is in Leeds in the UK and is known as the Leeds Holistic Health Practice. So that's at 2:30 today. Tomorrow. Then we've got Jagannatha Sava, and he's the conscious physio. I recently was a guest on his podcast. She's the conscious physio, and he's a physiotherapist and pain coach, and he specialises with working with men and men's mental health. So cover a lot of the same sort of ground, but he comes at it from that other perspective, the physical health perspective as well. So that's at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. On Wednesday, so I'm having to read these, I can't remember them all. We have Rebecca Lyons. Rebecca set up the Busy Women's Garden to look after her own mental health. She's designed it as a business now to help others take care of their mental health. She'll tell you a bit more about her story, but lovely, lovely woman who is so enthusiastic about how to use our garden to promote our wellness and to find those moments of peace in our life. And I love that because, as you probably know, my whole way of working is based on the PETAL Plan, which I designed around gardening, around flowers and growth. And we've got such an overlap as well, but she'll tell you more about how to use gardening in your own self-care. And then we meet Kirsty at 11:30 on Wednesday. At 7 o'clock on Wednesday in the evening, Kirsty Crouch is here to give us a demonstration of a facial routine. She's a Body Shop consultant, and I've always loved Body Shop right from its beginnings because it was ahead of the curve. It was using ethically based and ethically sourced products from around the world and helping to sustain communities around the world. And it still does that today. It shows there's great benefit in thinking about that from our business perspective, how we can promote and support others in our business model just as much as we can in the day-to-day work that we do. And Kirsty is a member of this community and has been quite a while now, and she's a pain sufferer herself, so she talks from that perspective as well. So she's going to be giving us a demonstration at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. On Thursday, 1 o'clock start, we start with Claire Nutton, and she's going to be talking about how yoga can help us in our mind-body self-care approach. So she's a yoga teacher. She's fresh from her retreat over the weekend that she was teaching at, and so we'll hear a bit more about that and how yoga can help us in our self-care. Pujita Patel is with us on Thursday as well, and that's at 7 o'clock, and she's a mindset coach. She's also very busy running a hotel business with her husband. And her business she's going to be presenting today, though, is the Success Pyramid, and talking about mindset and how that's important in our self-care, and talking about how she's using her knowledge about mindset in herself. Then on Friday morning at 10 o'clock, we have the lovely Sharon Thomas with us, and she is the new business matchmaker and a business consultant. So her business is helping new businesses to set up, and she focuses on mindset, motivation, marketing, and helping you to move forward with that idea and get started. So she's going to be here Friday at 10 a.m. And then at 2 o'clock on Friday, the lovely, lovely Ali Davis is here. Ali is an invisible illness advocate, I think you would call her. She has, she will tell you more about it, but she has her own struggles with long-term illness, and very life-changing they could be, but she's made them life-changing in a very positive way. She's very inspirational and such a force to be reckoned with online. She's brilliant at all she does, but she can talk to you about how she looks after her self-care and how she helps others to see that diagnosis is not the end of the road. And that's the message I really want you to know, throughout this week, is that even though we get these labels, the group here is called Beyond the Label. That label does not have to define you. That label, or labels, as many of us have had, loads of labels, they do not define us. They do not have to tell us where we're going for the rest of our life or end our life in some way. They can be the beginning of the next chapter. And Ali will be able to give you some inspiration on that, I'm sure. And then to round off the week I'm going to just check what time I'm on, 7 o'clock on Friday evening, I'm going to be delivering a masterclass on sustainable self-care, because one of the challenges we have with self-care is that we don't know what is going to help for us. So over the week, we're going to have lots of different ideas, things to try, things you might not have come across before, ideas of how to implement those that you may not have heard before. And then the second part is to sustain that, to keep it going, to make sure that you put into practice daily if necessary, weekly, monthly, however, but you continue to do the things that help you, because it's not, it's like going to the gym. We're not going to get fit going once. We're not going to lose the weight by just having one day on the diet and doing a few lengths in a swimming pool. We need to keep going, and we need to find a way of doing that that fits in our busy lives, that resonates with our own self-worth and our own, it aligns with our own values, and also that we can continue it even in those most difficult times, especially in those most difficult times. So I'm going to be talking about how to do that with 5 simple steps using my PETAL plan. And at the end of that, I will be I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to be offering you the opportunity to join me for further instruction, inspiration, and hopefully life-changing, for a course. I couldn't think of my words. I had it all planned. I'm gone. But I'll be telling you more about that on Friday at 7 o'clock, ways that you can continue this journey. If you enjoy what you go through this week, if you find it inspirational, if you find that there's things here that help, or you would like to try, but you need some support, I'll be telling you how you can get that on Friday evening, how you can continue or start the journey towards recovery from stress illnesses, chronic pain, because it's possible. And if you get nothing else from this week, just know it is possible. So I'm going to stop talking now and go get the tech sorted for the rest of the day, because that's my biggest challenge this week, I think, is actually I've got 2 challenges. 1, remembering what I'm saying, and 2, the tech. But I'm going to go look after myself for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do a little meditation and then sort the tech out. And I will be back at 11 o'clock with Samantha Jane for our first talk. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and share if you've enjoyed the video.